All right, good evening. Sheriff Kevin Torgerson of the Olmsted County Sheriff's Office, and with me up here is Chief Deputy Jim Schuler from the Sheriff's Office, and Mike Peterson, who's the Regional Program Coordinator for Homeland Security Emergency Management. We've also been assisted here tonight at the Emergency Operations Center from Chief Deputy Dave Pike and Emergency Manager Bramwell from the Mower County Sheriff's Office. Also want to just right off the top thank numerous agencies that have been involved throughout the evening so far, and that's obviously members from the Olmsted County Sheriff's Office, Rochester Fire, Rochester Police Department, the Area State Patrol, Minnesota State Patrol, obviously, as I mentioned, Mower County Emergency Management, Minnesota Homeland Security Emergency Management, Minnesota Energy, People's Co-op, and then just a host of volunteers from throughout the area. We'll be releasing this to you as well here very shortly, so you'll have a hard copy of it, and we'll have hard copies to pass out. So today, numerous tornadoes struck Olmsted County, causing multiple levels of damage throughout the county. At this time, and we're very thankful for this, there's been no injuries reported or obviously fatalities reported, just simply the damage. The Olmsted County Board has issued a disaster declaration at this time. Marion Township has sustained significant impact. Marion Township is located on the southeast side of the city of Rochester. They've sustained approximately 30 homes damaged, 12 with significant damage, the rest with some level of minor to major damage. Emergency services have disconnected electricity and natural gas in the affected areas for safety, obviously. Personnel from Homeland Security Emergency Management, Rochester Fire, and Olmsted County Sheriff's Office has conducted door-to-door checks to assess needs and ensure residents are safe. In Stewartville, approximately 8 homes have reported major damage, with 14 more homes sustaining some level of minor to major damage. 15 residents there have been displaced. Those individuals are currently staying with family and friends. And I should say the same thing has happened in Marion Township. Several homes are damaged there, obviously, as I said, and most, if not all, of those families have been housed by either family or friends, or found some other alternative shelter for the evening and foreseeable future. Another area of our county was struck as well. Quincy Township sustained some damage to one home, and on another property, a shed has been severely damaged. Both of those families are also being housed by either family or friends. And just before coming in here, we learned of another possible 2 more homes in northeastern High Forest Township, not far from the airport, that has also sustained some damage. And work is being done there to mitigate that already by mostly family and friends. The Olmsted County Public Health Department, Rochester Emergency Management, and the American Red Cross also are assisting us with a temporary shelter in Rochester for residents who are unable to remain in their homes and need somewhere else to go. At this time, we don't believe anyone has taken that availability up for them. It was estimated at the time that potentially 30 to 50 families could be affected throughout this whole disaster and might need shelter. Olmsted County is requesting residents to complete a preliminary damage assessment of their home or their property if they have experienced some level of property damage from this storm. Reports can be submitted through the Olmsted County website or our Sheriff's Web email, and that email address is sheriffweb@olmstedcounty.gov. I'll say it again, sheriffweb@olmstedcounty.gov. At this time, there are no requests for any additional volunteers or assistance for the evening. Obviously, it's getting dark now, and it's just not safe to work throughout the evening. We will have extra security, extra deputies in these areas throughout the evening to maintain that security And some of these areas, there is no way to get through at this point in time. Marion Road was closed and could potentially be opening right now, Marion Road Southeast, which goes past the, and through Marion Township. That was closed due to damage to power lines, and some of that is being mitigated as we speak, and could be open very soon. Let's see, residents are also encouraged to continue monitoring all other local media and official channels for any additional information. Other updates to the media and to the public we'll release through our social media or emails to the media to keep you advised throughout the weekend. I don't anticipate having any other additional press conferences unless something significant were to happen. And that's it. Is there any questions? Yes, sir.
Yeah, do you have an idea of how many people have been displaced in the Marion Road area? You said most of those families have been housed.
Yeah, most of them have been housed, so it was approximately 30 homes damaged, so we'll go with 30 families at this point in time. And again, we don't believe anyone has taken up the opportunity of using the shelter at this point. They're either already working with family and friends or already there, at some other place that they've decided to stay for the evening.
Is there any word on when electricity and power will be restored? I know that's being worked on.
Yeah, it's being worked on. Minnesota Energy and People's Co-op, those folks are doing the best they can. I don't think we've been told yet. There's a lot of damage, a lot of trees, a lot of branches, and a lot of debris was flying. Roofs were being torn off, and that just ripped right through the cables and the wires. So we're hopeful yet tonight, because it's such a localized area that the damage was done, both in Stewartville and in the Marion Township area. So we're very hopeful it could be returned tonight, if not by tomorrow. But I don't want to put a time on those guys in case they run into some conflicts and challenges. But they're working on it as we speak.
Have you heard any people being displaced in nearby Olmsted County? I know there are a lot of uprooted trees, but have you any damage to homes?
Yeah, that's the hard part about when you get out in the rural areas, and that's where, as I said, just before we came in here, we heard of a couple of homes in what we believe is in northeast High Forest Township. A lot of the rural folks really tend to take care of themselves, and we don't always hear these things. It's one of the conversations I've had with township board members for years, and that is that they need to help us learn what's going on in their township. So I fully expect these numbers to rise. I'm hopeful it's not, but if there is damage out there and people are seeing this and you all can report to that, we need them to go to that website and get that damage assessment, or call us or email us on that Sheriff Webb email address to let us know that they've sustained damage. Sometime in the next day or two, we expect that we'll be going out again and making assessments. And if we don't know about it, we can't help them, and we can't, do what we can to support them in that way. So.
And then one other thing, do you know how long the shelter will be open?
We're going to keep it open as late as we can tonight. If no one comes, obviously, when say 10, somewhere between 10 and midnight, I would think if no one shows up, we'll probably close it down. And right now, it looks like most everybody that's been affected is taking care of themselves. So we appreciate that, but we do know the shelter is open and available for folks if they decide to get there. Yes, sir.
Were there any Olmsted County government buildings or facilities that were damaged due to the severe weather?
No, I do know that some of our staff here reported seeing a tornado, probably the one that did hit the Marion Township area, go right past the building we're standing in. So, to my knowledge, no other businesses or larger businesses or any businesses have been reporting that. It's mostly been residential facilities. Now, there are some businesses along Marion Road, but we haven't heard from them yet. It's all been about homes right now. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.